All right, guys. So let's start looking at this. I need to update my lessons because I heard that the volume is not too low, too big. So on this thing, let me minimize this real quick. This thing we're gonna talk about. Yesterday we talked about our angles, what our angles are, and then I said on the angles, I'm gonna use block for this. For the angles, I have a ray there, and then I have another ray, and we talk about the vertex. So for the interior, the inside of an angle is basically the shortest distance between the rays. So if I'm looking at the inside, it's the shortest distance between the rays. So anything in there, I'm gonna call this interior. Right, this is the inside of the angle. Anything outside of it, we're gonna use the word exterior. So I'm gonna give you guys points, and I'm gonna ask you guys, is this interior? Is this exterior? Right? I'm gonna plot in a point, but there will be some other points. I'm gonna plot them in, and they're gonna be part of the angle. Right? It could be the vertex that ask you guys. It could be a point that is right on one of the rays. So that one is neither interior, neither exterior. That one we're gonna call it on the angle. Right? That point, it's on the angle. It is part of the angle. So your three choices are like, so I'm gonna plot in a point. It's gonna be either interior, it's gonna be exterior, or it's gonna be on the angle. Whenever you guys type it, obviously only capitalize the first letter, including on the angle. Only capitalize the O on the angle, only the first letter. So, as an example, I have these. So state if the given point is interior, exterior, on the angle. What do you guys get for number one? Exterior. What about number two? Interior. Okay. Any questions on these?
That's all you have to do.
Yeah. On these things, I'm just asking, just the interior, exterior, or on the angle. Just identify it. Now, another thing we're gonna see, we're gonna classify our angles. If I think of a line, if I think of a line segment, let me. If I think of a line segment, and if I look at the angle of a line segment, it's that. I know a circle's 360, right? It's something we're all familiar with, right? The circle's 360. The angle of a line, if we look at it, it looks like half of a circle. So that angle will be 180 degrees. The angle of a line is 180 degrees, right? Look like half of a circle. Another number that we use is 90 degrees, right? Another angle that is important is 90 degrees, which is obviously half of 180. So if 180 is half of a circle, let me cut that in half. And it's going to look like that. 90 degrees, we're going to represent it with a little box, right? But if you notice, it's half of 180, that's 90 degrees. Look like an L shape. Now, my angle could obviously be less than 90. I'm going to say theta. It's a Greek letter. It looks like a zero with a little segment inside. Theta, like the measurement of the angle, let's say it is less than 90, but let's say it's more than zero. So I'm thinking any number between 0 and 90. So as an example, my angle would look like that, right? 90 degrees is an L shape. Close it a little, that's less than 90. And then a number between 90 and 180, right? Let me use theta again. Let's say it's less than 180, but more than 90. Once again, anything between 90 and 180, that one, if I was to draw it, it would look something like that. Right? 90 is an L shape. We'll open it. 90 is more than 90. Now those four, they have a name. All of them have a name. The small one, the one that is less than 90, we're gonna call that acute. So that's gonna be an acute angle. The one that is 90, I'm gonna call that right angle. The one that is between 90 and 180, I'm gonna call that obtuse. And then the one that is 180, I'm gonna call that straight. So those are gonna be the four names. To help you guys a little, the small angles are acute. But one thing is that if you think of something small, guys, we're horrible when it comes to feelings. We're just like, we see something small, we're like, whatever. Guys, we're like, whatever. Girls, on the other hand, they're a little more affectionate. So if you had like let's say a puppy that was really small and you give it to a girl, you come over, you give it to her, more than likely she's gonna see it and then she's gonna go, ah, because that's how one thing that they say, ah. So that's what we have. And then they say cute. So if you give something, she's gonna be like, ah, cute. They have their way how to say it. Like I don't know how to say it well. Girls say it. I can't. But a cute is something small. So we just go of ah, cute, right? That's how the girl. Now, if I was looking for the angle and it's right in the middle, if I'm looking for right in the middle, that's a right angle, right? 90 degrees. Now, obtuse, I'm trying to find a better word, but I was trying to see, well, obtuse is a big angle. What sounds like obtuse that it's big? The word I came out with, I thought of obese. Now, we know obese is someone that is kind of big, someone that is big. So I was like, obtuse, that's a big angle. If you guys do come out with a better word, please let me know because I'm trying to change it, but I cannot think of a word. So obtuse is a big angle. Now, straight, if you notice, is the angle of a line. Lines are straight. So it's a straight angle. So make sure you guys know those names. Now, on your homework, you're going to see it something like this. Classify each angle as acute, obtuse, right, or straight. What do you guys get for number 3? Acute. What about for number 4? Straight. Okay. Now, the last thing, we're going to label them. We're going to draw them. And this thing, it says, draw and label an angle to fit each of my descriptions. So for question number 5, I want it to be an acute angle, and I want the angle to be called angle JKL. So acute angle, let me draw it. I know it's less than 90. So I drew an acute angle, but the angle I want it to be called JKL. That K is in the center, so K has to be the vertex. Now J and L are on each race, different race. It doesn't matter which ray you choose for J. I'm going to put J there, and I'm going to put L there. So if you notice, it's an acute angle, JKL. Make sure K is the vertex. All right, now looking at question number 6, it says for me to draw another acute angle. So let me draw an acute angle. Once again, less than 90. But in this case, I want it to be called angle 8. All right, it's not 8 degrees. I'm calling it angle 8. So I'm going to put my 8 right there. So I'm calling it angle 8. I know for quizzes and tests, it's on paper, so then you can do it. You can draw it easily. For homework, we're not going to be able to draw it because we're typing our homework. So for homework, this case, I'll give it to you as a multiple choice. So I'm going to draw an acute angle, JKL. Obviously, tell me which one is it. On quizzes and tests, you'll be able to do it. On homework, we cannot. So homework is multiple choice. For this section, this part, on quizzes and tests, you will have to draw it. Any questions? No?